Federal health care reform has been signed into law by the President, and it does provide an opportunity, $5 billion to the states of our country to provide health insurance to many citizens who have no insurance or are paying extraordinarily high rates for that insurance. They're called a high-risk pool. These are men and women who have oftentimes pre-existing conditions, and in order to be insured in anything, they need to pay an extraordinarily high premium. Our state has had a law for some time called I-CHIP that provides health insurance on this basis, but it's very oftentimes unaffordable to working families because of the very high premium. Under the federal health care reform, the premiums have been reduced to affordable levels for those with pre-existing conditions, and the federal government is providing to our state $200 million from the federal government to help finance this. And we have to quickly pass a law that makes our state eligible for this federal money for a high-risk insurance pool that complies with all the federal requirements and does make health insurance affordable for literally thousands of Illinois citizens, particularly those who are afflicted with pre-existing conditions and who have been treated by insurance companies in a way that's oftentimes very difficult for that family. That's number one. Number two, we believe in a health care insurance Bill of Rights, and I want to spell out some of those items in it. Guaranteeing coverage for children with pre-existing conditions, making sure that the state has a review process when a health insurance company cancels coverage on someone. Right now, if you have home insurance or auto insurance, you have an ability to appeal to the Department of Insurance to make sure that you're getting a fair shake. That provision does not apply right now to health insurance, and it should, and we want to include it. We also want to guarantee the access of women to obstetrical and gynecological care. That's what this law does. It also gives parents the right to keep their children on the parents' health insurance policy until the age of 26. Many young adults do not have health insurance. They're the largest group of uninsured citizens in our country and our state, and this would allow for their parents to cover them, and they would be able to be covered until the age of 26. It would also require insurance companies to cover preventive medicine, such as immunizations, and at no cost to the policyholder. This is another reform that's needed. It's much more cost effective to pay for a vaccination than to pay for hospitalization for a preventable illness. Finally, we want health insurance companies to publicly disclose information about their premiums and their expenditures, their enrollment and claims information. We need to know the facts. And so these are fundamental health care insurance reforms that we need to make sure are covered in Illinois by our Department of Insurance.
Today, to help understand the reasons for the proposed legislation, we need to understand the state of our marketplace right now and make no mistake that Illinois' health insurance marketplace right now is completely dysfunctional. It is dysfunctional and anti-family. It is dysfunctional and anti-business. Some of the signs of this are becoming more evident every week. Families in Illinois can be denied insurance for any reason other than race, color, religion, or national origin, and for that reason, a family was denied health insurance by one company because the mother attended grief counseling after her husband died. In Illinois, we're seeing explosive health insurance rate increases. We've heard the story about WellPoint in California, 39% increase. The president brought attention to this increase, and it's relevant not just because it drew national attention, but because the California regulators had the authority to review the rate and determine whether that rate was fair, whether it was appropriate. The regulators had the ability to make decisions in the interest of consumers, recognizing the financial needs of the company. And in fact, when the regulator conducted that review, it found that WellPoint had made a mistake, that WellPoint's actuaries were wrong. And the department in California has required a reduction in that proposed increase. At least 30 states have prior approval by the regulator, the insurance regulator, of premium increases. In Illinois, For families lucky enough to have coverage, they are being priced out right now. As the insurance department, all we receive for family coverage is a list of increases annually. We have no ability to approve or deny those. For small businesses and large businesses, we don't even have that authority. We have no idea what small groups are charged, small business owners are charged every year, and how much their premiums increase year to year. In fact, Illinois law does not even require that the insurance companies have actuarial justification for their rate increases. This Bill of Rights will support that implementation and help assure that our families and businesses have the protections they deserve. In terms of the high-risk pool, we look forward to implementing that expansion. It is not a silver bullet, it is not a panacea, but it will provide great relief to families around our state in this important transition period leading up to 2014.
The enacted federal legislation is a benchmark, and states do have the power to enact consumer protections sooner and, if need be, to make them even stronger. The Consumer Bill of Rights announced today by Governor Quinn must be passed by the Illinois General Assembly before they adjourn. Too many months will go by and too many Illinoisans' lives will be shattered if action does not occur. The role of government is to help society, not to hinder it, and not to protect the special interests. The Campaign for Better Healthcare also runs a helpline and a story bank where we help thousands of people throughout the state not only get access to health insurance, but to also take their stories. And we use those stories to help formulate common sense solutions to their problems. And this is exactly what this bill is.
Too often, our organization has heard stories from families that are unable to get private insurance coverage for their child because of a pre-existing condition, oftentimes originating at birth. And most recently, we've been paying attention to the horrific news stories that have uncovered how women with breast cancer were targeted by WellPoint Insurance Company to have their policies canceled. This legislation starts the process for Illinois to really begin fixing our broken health insurance system.
When I became governor a little more than a year ago, I ordered that the Department of Insurance be its own separate department. It had been folded into the department with a bunch of other agencies, and I just didn't think that was right. Insurance is so important to all the families of Illinois, whether it's your car insurance, your home insurance, and health insurance. These are very, very important matters to every family. And we've got to make sure that we have health insurance reform for consumers. And I really believe in this. I think this is something that is necessary. I talked to the President of the United States about it when he was in Quincy last week. I said that our state of Illinois, I thought, should pass both of these reforms that are contained in this particular bill. It's a health care insurance consumer bill of rights, and it's also establishing the proper framework for a high-risk insurance pool that will make us eligible for $200 million of federal money to provide health insurance to people who most need it in the state of Illinois.